But Owen Hart progressed. You could tell they were grooming Owen Hart to be this King of Hearts character, which he was when he won, and he suited the role. He kind of brought up a lot of the pirates because of his. He progressed then into a storyline with Bret Hart, and there was the brothers facing off at the next Owen Hart and Bret Hart faced off at the last WrestleMania 10. Of course, it was the Brothers Hart showdown. Very good, made for a great storyline. And he beat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10, of course, and then Bret went on to win the title at the end of the event. But Owen's character kept going up and getting better and better as a heel. He was a great bad guy, and ended up winning the King of the Ring then in the final as he beat Razor Ramon. And the big shock was Jim the Anvil Neidhart came in to help him. In the main event of this tournament, it was the World WWF Championship match between Bret Hart and Diesel, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, and of course now known as Kevin Nash, of course. And before he came into WWF as Diesel, he was known as a few different characters in WCW. Of course, WCW had many gimmicks for the name in the early 90s, and then they progressed into more reality-based, and WWF became gimmick-based. And he was named Vinny Vegas, Oz, so many terrible characters. But he came into WWF as Diesel, and it was a pretty catchy gimmick. It was all about him being a trucker, and good gimmick, and it was world title gimmick. Vince McMahon brought him in and progressed him over time as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, and he became Big D, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, and he fought Bret Hart for the title at King of the Ring 94. And it was a great match, very entertaining. You could see the storyline progressing with Owen and Bret when Jim the Anvil Neidhart was in Bret Hart's corner, because of course Shawn Michaels was in Diesel's corner. So at the Anvil came back to the WWF as a big surprise, because he had been out of the WWF since mid 1992, and he came back in mid 94 now as part of the duo with Bret Hart. Everybody thought that maybe the Hart Foundation were coming back together, and then all of a sudden it was the big surprise then when the Anvil interfered and attacked Bret Hart and Diesel. After that then, of course, Diesel got disqualified and Hart kept the title. But that was all in a plan for the eventual cage match at SummerSlam 94 when Owen met Bret, and the Anvil's in Owen's corner, Bret's corner, British Bulldog came back to be in Bret's corner, of course, and it all played out. But you can see, as I said before, you can see months and months ahead, they organise what's going to happen months down the line. So Bret wins the match through DQ, and in the final of the King of the Ring, of course, Owen wins when the Anvil interferes and helps him beat Razor Ramon. That set up, of course, the alliance between Owen and the Anvil that went against the alliance of Bret and the Bulldog later on down the line. King of the Ring 1994, not near as good, I might add, as King of the Ring 1993, in my opinion. But a good watch for the Bret Hart, or for the Diesel Bret Hart match, and for the final between Owen and Razor Ramon, and that match between Jerry the King Lawler and Roddy Piper was very entertaining. for the sheer fact that Piper was there. One more match there, actually, I forgot to mention. Yokozuna and Crush defended the WWF Tag Team titles against the Head Shrinkers, Samu and Fatu. And this match in particular was very good. Crush had turned bad. Of course, the storyline there was that Crush and the Macho Man Randy Savage had a bit of a fallout in late '93. Went into Survivor Series. That storyline progressed, and then they went into a match at WrestleMania 10 in early '94, and then Macho Man didn't wrestle much at this stage in WWF, so he was on commentary anyway. But then Crush joined up with Yokozuna and meeting the Head Shrinkers at this particular event. It was a good match, better than expected, but Crush and Yoko came out the winners. Overall, this particular event, I don't think it was much good. Definitely not as good as '93, as I said. Presentation-wise, I would probably give it was the same intro and all, which is good. It's good to stick with the same outlay as the year before in events. Tradition then becomes very good for a nostalgic fan. So I would say, presentation-wise, I give it about 8 out of 10 for this for an '84, and with Macho Man doing the countdown as well was very interesting. He's great on the mic, of course. Him and Gorilla Monsoon doing commentary for King of the Ring '94, and my dad. And Art Donovan, who isn't exactly a wrestling person. I don't know why they brought him in to do that. That was stupid, to bring in Art Donovan to do commentary as part of King of the Ring '94, but that's the way it goes. That's the way celebrity, you see, if they bring in celebrity, bigger buy rates, maybe they thought, but it never would happen with Art Donovan. I didn't even know who he was until he was in WWF. Okay, it is King of the Ring '94, presentation-wise, 8 out of 10. Replay value, terrible. I would say 5, 6 out of 10. I might have only watched it 3-4 times since the actual event. I would say, overall, King of the Ring '94, I would give it 6.5 out of 10. Not the greatest of events, but you would watch it just for that Piper Jerry King Lawler match. Thank you. That's all for this episode. We'll be back with 1995's King of the Ring very shortly. See you later. Kyoster, over and out.